Hey guys, Darren Asbury here with Revital Outdoors, bringing you another exciting podcast. Tonight we have Mr. Cody Harrison from the great state of Alabama. Cody just got done winning the BFL Mississippi Division tournament on the Columbus River this last weekend. So another exciting winning podcast coming your way. We can't wait to talk to Cody. He's going to give us a full recap of his tournament, so you're not going to want to miss this. Before we get started, Revital Outdoors is excited to announce we are featuring that $2,500 giveaway for a lucky angler at the end of the year. All you have to do to enter this giveaway is hit that link right below this video in the top of the description. It just takes 3 seconds to enter. We have great companies in the fishing industry such as Flambeau Outdoors, Costa Del Mar, Seaguar Line, Lew's, Strike King, The Rod Glove, and Tackle Warehouse in on this giveaway. I promise you this is not going to be one that any angler out there is going to want to miss. So go ahead and take time, hit that link, enter into that giveaway. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. That's Revital Outdoors. And if you've never heard of Revital Outdoors, we're a premium CBD company. We offer premium CBD products to all the outdoor enthusiasts out there. Our products are THC free, made right here in America. Check them out on our website. You can purchase them directly off our website as well. That's www.revitaloutdoors.com. That being said, let's go ahead and go straight to the great state of Alabama. Mr. Cody Harrison, how you doing this evening, bud?
Pretty good.
Good. Well, Cody, first of all, congratulations on your victory this last weekend. Was that your first BFL win?
It was my first BFL win, yes.
Okay, cool. Well, good for you. Always good to get that first win. The BFL circuit, I argue that it's one of the hardest places to get a win at, so very good to see you accomplish that. Man, tell us a little bit about that tournament. Walk us through a little bit, maybe what you were able to discover in practice, and then what led to the victory.
Well, I only had one day of practice, so it was I had to cover as much water as I could as fast as I could. And I started, I don't know a whole lot about Columbus Pool other than it's very shallow in a lot of places. Mm-hmm. Once you get out of that main river channel, it's pretty much dirt. So I started in a little community area. I think they call them the strip mines or something like that, on the lower end of the lake. And it had a little bit of depth to it, and I liked that a lot. But I did notice as soon as I got in there that morning, Friday morning, that there was a shad spawn going on. It was going on pretty hard. So immediately I just switched gears to put everything I could that I would normally fish the shad spawn stuff with. And I just started hitting, anything and everything, little pieces of cover here and there. And then by the time, I don't know, maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock rolled around, I figured out they were pretty much just in that grass, this like willow grass or some kind of bank grass. I'm not real sure what Columbus Pool has, but it's not much of it. But what little bit they have is pretty much in that one little area. And I think that the water might have actually been coming down just a little bit. So I actually like that area a lot because it did have a little bit deeper water. Had them, most places are less than a foot or to 2 feet deep. So having, 5 to 6 feet, gives them a little bit of wiggle room to go back and up and down. But I think they felt more comfortable over there. And I tried to expand on that and tried to find a few more areas that were close to that. But, man, my hummingbirds are a little old, and my Lowrance still, I'm still running avionics on my live just because this is what I have right now. So as far as mapping goes, I didn't really have a whole lot to go on. So I started idling around some of those other backwater places and stuff like that. And I kept running aground, just didn't find the deep water I was really looking for. And by the end of the day, it was just ride or die in that one little area. So that's what I did. I stuck with it, and I stuck with, I had 5 different baits tied up on the front deck of the boat, thinking that, at least one would work here and there. I was mainly going in the morning thinking I was going to bang out a couple bites early that morning, just go home with some points, that's what I was kind of hoping for anyways. And I got to the first little area, and, I was boat number 11, and several guys beat me to that stuff. So, but, I had nowhere else to go. So I just stuck with it, went home. First place I rolled up to, I caught a keeper pretty quick. I said, okay, well, at least I got points in the boat.
Right.
3 casts later, I caught a 4-pounder, 4.5-pounder, and I was like, okay, well, this is going pretty well. And then by the time I got done with that first stretch, I had a limit. I was like, well, this is fishing pretty good today. I thought this lake's fishing a lot better than I thought it was. And I just kept banging that away, man. And I would switch baits here and there, but mainly it was just one bait. It was just a swim jig, and I just kept it in my hand all day. And I called a few times here and there and caught a few short fish, and it's just worked out for me, I guess.
I got you. How many keepers did you end up catching throughout the day?
man, I didn't keep count, but I think it was like 13 or 14.
Okay. Did you call many times? Like, was every fish bigger than the last, or?
No. There was a stretch there where I kept catching 14 inchers. Like that's the keeper size. I was having fun, man, just catching those fish there for a minute, but it wasn't helping me much. I picked up a buzzbait for a few casts and was going to try and cull something, but something just wasn't on the buzzbait. Swim jig kept in my hand another couple hours and caught one more keeper about 10 or 11 o'clock and culled once. That was my first cull after the last couple fish. It didn't really help. And then I said, okay, well, if I just stick with this thing, I'm going to end up culling at least one more time. And I got a 14 and a half, 14 and 3/4 fish out. And I was pretty happy with my limit. And I kept banging away, ended up catching two more good fish. Not giants, decent for that lake though. A 2-pounder is a good fish on that lake. So ended up culling out a couple of little smaller ones, but I was culling by ounces at that point.
Right.
But I will say this too, at like 11 or 12 o'clock, I lost one that would have really, really helped me, man. And that was another thing that kind of like, all right, big fish are still up here. They're still biting. So, I mean, I stick with this thing the rest of the day. So,
Right. I got you. Walk us through your swim jigs setup a little bit. Not really worried about the actual jig you were throwing, but like, how do you? I know there's a lot of guys that like to throw, shorter limber rods. There's guys that like to throw flipping sticks. Some guys like to throw fluorocarbon, braid. For your win on the Columbus River, what was the ultimate setup for you?
So, my big thing is on the swim jig is how tight, how much cover are you fishing? Like if I'm fishing, real thick grass, like on, Primrose or something like that on Gunnersville, I'm going with a heavy. But this was kind of sparse willow grass. I mean, I got by with a medium heavy just fine, and I was throwing I like a longer rod. Most people know that about me, that I'm not a precision caster. I'm a long distance caster. I was throwing that thing into the bank and bringing it all the way through those mats as far as I could. And some bites would come at the very back of the mat. Some bites would come at the very beginning of the grass. But I was throwing a 7.6 medium heavy Halo TI series rod. And I didn't do the braid thing. It just, for some reason, I just thought braid was just going to be too loud and make too much commotion. Don't get me wrong though, the grass you definitely could have got by with braid, but I feel like a lot of people were throwing braid that were in there, and I got by with 20-pound fluoro just fine. It might have cost me 1 or 2 bites that I did hook up on that I just couldn't get out of there, but I think I got more bites than the rest of the people. So as far as if I could go back, I probably wouldn't change the fluorocarbon braid thing.
I got you. One last little question. Did you have all your weight by a certain time, or did it take all day to catch that weight that you weighed in to win the tournament?
I had the bulk of my weight. I'd say I had at least 14 and a quarter or something like that by 9:30, 10 o'clock. I culled by ounces, and I'm talking about just a couple of ounces after that. But, I didn't win by much. So, I mean, I think I might have ended up sealing a deal around 1 o'clock or something like that. I'm sure that last cull might have helped, but I don't think, I had a limit by 7:15, something like that. So I had a limit quick,
Right. So, all right, Cody. Well, I really appreciate it, man. You being on our podcast, and again, congratulations. Before we let you go, I know looking at your social media, you got a great friend base, a great family that supports you. I can't even begin to, account for all the messages and posts that were on your Facebook board for winning the tournament. So I know you got a lot of people you want to give a shout out to and a thank you.
Yeah, definitely want to give a shout out to my mom and dad. I'm 32 now, but they've been supporting me for a long time, man. And you got to give a shout out to my wife. She's pregnant with our first child, and to be leaving on Mother's Day weekend, and May 7th is also her birthday, which is the day of the tournament. She had to be that, man. I kind of have to butter her up a little bit, but yeah, I just like to thank them a lot, man. And that's pretty much, I've got a few people that kind of help me out. Fast Swim Bait helps me out a lot during spawn, and here on Pickwick and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Good for you, Cody. So, well, Cody, again, thank you for coming to the podcast, man. One last question, I was just thinking before we let you go. You're already into the regional. You won this tournament. So, what's the goals look like for you for the rest of 2022?
Man, I'm just gonna keep on guiding. I don't have a whole lot going on, man, as far as fishing goes. Just to do this every day. It's the tournament thing is kind of one of those hobbies that I have that I still love to do, and I'm glad that I got the regional checked out, because that's, I said earlier that my wife's pregnant with our first. The weekend she's due is the weekend of the super tournament, so I may not have to fish the tournament, and that helps out a bunch. So I really wanted to make that regional on Smith. I like October. It's a tough month everywhere, and especially tough on Smith. But for whatever reason, it just clicks well with what I like to do. So I'm glad I made it.
Yeah. Well, cool, Cody. Well, good for you, buddy. So, well, appreciate all the listeners tuning into this podcast. For everyone that's been listening, this is Cody Harrison, the winner of the BFL Mississippi Division tournament on the Columbus River this last weekend. So, thank you for Cody for joining us. Before we let everybody go, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Also, you've been watching the rotating banner below this video. Hit that link at the top of the description right below this video. Enter into our $2,500 sweepstakes giveaway. Again, that lucky angler will be selected at the end of the year. So, make sure you get in on that. From all of us at Revital Outdoors, I'm Theron Asbury. Thank you for tuning into this podcast. Be safe out there. God bless. We'll talk to everyone very, very soon.